EMI is an international company with top artists on their books. Their A&R manager, DJ Elaine, is on the lookout for jungle talent.
You know, I'm not quite sure why a lot of the guys down there don't want it to go commercial, but, you know, I think in every field you'll find that a lot of people that originate stuff and whatever, they get a bit kind of green or whatever with envy because someone else has kind of crossed over.
Wicked, wicked, jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked, jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked.
Rank Records is a small independent label. They signed General Levy to perform Incredible, which immediately hit the top 40. With the remix currently in the top 10, Ant makes no apologies for their mainstream success.
After they found that the track had actually done quite well on the underground, then it appeared to them that they should actually try and do something much more important with it, like take it up to that step where they could get it into literally every shop. You can get a real feel as to how jungle is, and it also gets away from the fact that jungle, is made by people in sort of bedrooms, and you actually get to hear the records on vinyls, and that's it. This is actually bringing that step closer to getting to know who the artists are.
Yo, my day will of them, I spin them like a windmill. New talk for them.
When Incredible first broke into the charts, rumours spread that the former reggae artist was calling himself the King of Jungle. Pirate stations boycotted the tune, saying that he was selling their music out to the mainstream.
Now we've got M-Beat and General Levy, first jungle on Top of the Pops ever.
The future is in trying to get jungle out there, or on Top of the Pops, or live, because jungle actually is something, it's the only thing which black people from the streets of London, as well as whites, it's the only thing which whites and blacks from the streets have made together, and they've actually
I don't really want to talk about General Levy because General Levy don't deserve no time on the air whatsoever. Okay, granted, he done jungle some kind of justification. He got it noticed. But for him to rap off his mouth and say that he started jungle is nonsense. And that's all I have to say on the matter.
They should talk to the man himself, and I would set the story straight. Did not say that I want to be the king of no jungle. Come to contribute, make people feel good. Who like it, like it. Who don't like it, just bite it.
He hopped from this music to that music, hopped to the jungle bandwagon, and then it's gone on like he was running it. You know what I mean? This is the program, going on about he big up jungle and the rest of it. We don't need people like that coming in, you know what I mean, and riding off it and saying that they big it up, because he never big up nothing.
Incredible.
Now, it's not his fault that he went into the studio, he was inspired by the sound, by the vibe, whatever, he made a record, and it was a hit. Now, a lot of those people that are criticising him, if it didn't happen, then we wouldn't be here today talking about it, all right? And then they would be saying, why the hell is no one taking any notice?
It's a progressive movement, and anybody who's really fighting against it is really just is thinking on a negative vibe, when we should be thinking positively, thinking that we've got something new which was originated in England, London, pure London artists, London musicians involved in it. Why don't we try and boost this, push it worldwide, and say that England has got something? It's not just the Beatles.
Why is it called such a fuss?
Cut.
Shy's big night has finally arrived. In 8 hours' time, his posse will be in Wolverhampton for their first performance in front of a live audience. The dancers, Zioni and Harriet, are putting the finishing touches to their act.
I remember last time at Roller Express we did this other gig there, and the stage was like quite small, so we were going to have to see, you know, if we're going to go on one side, or if we're going to go on the other side, or like 2 separate sides and stuff. We just have to see when we get there. All right, so we ready? Should we loosen up a bit?
The guys are a bit nervous, as it's their first time playing out of London, but the girls keep everyone's spirits high.
Wolverhampton with Shy Effects.
Yeah.
And we're just going to kick it up because we love jungle music.
Yeah, on the right.
The posse arrive at Wolverhampton, and there's the usual confusion. The DJs are refusing to introduce the band from London as they weren't told they were coming. The guys aren't happy. The dancers are annoyed because there's no room on stage for them, so they have to perform elsewhere. Eventually, everything is smoothed out, and it's time to perform.
Right here tonight, a special treat. Let's give a big round of applause for UK Apache, Gunsmoke, the Shy Effects. A special treat for the ambassador.
I always wanted to be a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Wolverhampton was a great trip, you know. We had enough joke, enough laugh. Tore it down, man. The crowd, they wouldn't even give me a chance to do the tune, really. I had to laugh halfway through it. But that was a good response. It was good. It was great fun.
There's so many people now with their decks in their room trying, and that's brilliant. There's so many people making music, you know, and that's what's needed. You know, Britain doesn't encourage its talent enough, I don't feel.
Jungle for me is another modern phenomenon which will cross over and start to influence major artists. Even within the next year, you can see that happening.
When something makes enough noise, draws enough attention, you can't ignore it, you have to just go with it.
Respect and love on the scene from Shy Effects, Gunsmoke and UK Apache. Respect here.
Jungle in there.
In next week's programme, despite an increase in professional black footballers, the spectators are anything but all black.